Welcome, ZASLOW Show 2.0. It is a Tuesday, the 13th of June. Good to have you aboard. We are a Blue Wire podcast, presented as always by our title sponsor, Anidjar and Levine Accident Attorneys. If you've been involved in any kind of an accident, slip and fall, motorcycle, boating, automobile, the first call you make is 911. Then you call Anidjar and Levine Accident Attorneys, 800-747-FREE. That's 800-747-3733. They'll treat you like family. That's exactly the care that you're looking for when you've been through a traumatic situation like dealing with a personal injury. I send you to the best, the title sponsor of everything ZASLOW Show 2.0. Anidjar and Levine Accident Attorneys, 800-747-FREE, 800-747-3733. We start the show today not the way we were hoping to start the show. This is one of those days where, yeah, I had to really, tell myself, all right, you need to get it together. You need to get this thing started. You get in front of the microphone. Maybe it'll be cathartic. Maybe it'll help you feel better. But this is one of those where you don't necessarily, I'm not jumping to get in front of the microphone today. Now, once I turn on the microphone, like now, we're good to go. Like I'm in it and I'm ready, and I feel like it's gonna be a good experience to, because I got a lot to say, but I'm excuse me, I'm sad, I'm sad after last night, and not angry, none of that. But, this is one of those days where it's not, hey, let's get in front of the microphone. We're super excited. I'm ready to go and get all of Heat Nation and all of the ZASLOW Show 2.0 listeners fired up. I'm sad. It was such an amazing run. And obviously you don't want it to end. But, it was an experience. I hope I'm able to put it together into the right, use the right words in the right context. It was an experience that we've never had with this Heat team. 8 seed, going all the way to the finals. The memories that this team gave us, the joy that this team gave us throughout this postseason. After, by the way, let's not forget, such an incredibly frustrating and disappointing regular season. That was so long ago. It was almost 2 months ago. That was so long ago. And the postseason has been so gratifying and so fulfilling that, and so joyous that we forget how frustrating the regular season was. So for this Heat team, the 22-23 version of the Miami Heat, obviously you never see it coming with an 8 seed, but for this version of the Miami Heat to be the one that gives us an all-time great, an all-time memorable season, there's a lot to be happy about. And overall, I think there's a lot of sadness today. So I think it's, a cathartic experience for me. It took me a while to get in front of the microphone today. It's almost like, I don't want to talk about it, But hopefully I'm able to give you guys that same experience where you're listening, and maybe it'll be a little bit cathartic and emotional, and it'll help you guys get through this. Because sports are the best, man. Sports are the best, where it makes us feel so good, and then at the same time, it can make us feel so sad. I was so sad after the game last night. And I'm sad today. But my overriding sentiment is I'm so grateful. I'm so happy. This was a really interesting year for me because we're talking about my first year not being on the broadcast after doing 13 straight years. And that allowed me to experience the games. High stakes playoff games in a way that I've never, not only in a way that I haven't been able to experience in a long time, but experienced it in a way that I never have before. And that meaning I've been able to watch it and enjoy it with my boys. I've never been able to do that. And there were so many games where, I mean, not but so many, but there was a handful of playoff games where, you know, the night ends with me hugging my boys. We're so happy and so excited and relieved that they hung on to the game, you know? And I've never had that experience before. And that's one of those where it's almost like you want to be able to tell the players, you want to be able to tell the coach, thank you so much because again, this was the first time I was ever able to experience this kind of sports fandom joy with my sons, with both of them. It's the first time in my life I've been able to experience that. And for the first year that I'm able to do that, because it's my first year not on the broadcast, right away for me to be able to experience that. I want to thank them. I want to thank all the players, and I want to thank the coaches. I'm so grateful for this run. And that's also why it's so sad that it couldn't end in just the greatest underdog sports story ever. So that part I'm super bummed about. But I'm really thankful. And you know, the fact that my first year not on the broadcast, that I get to experience this immediately with my kids, with my boys. Like, what if it took 5 years? Okay, well, my older son, God willing, will be away in college at that point. So I wouldn't have been able to experience it with both my boys. One of them would have been away, you know? So for me, from a personal perspective, this was very special. And the same way that I will always look back at the 2020 finals very fondly. I have great memories and great feelings about the 2020 bubble finals. I don't look back at losing in 2014 fondly. Not at all. I don't look back at losing in 2011 fondly. Not at all. But I look back at 2020 fondly, and I will likely look back at this one fondly as well. Not because of, the finals this year gave us Game 2, an all-time great Miami Heat win. Denver's only lost in their final 9 playoff games. So we got to experience an all-time great Miami Heat finals win in Game 2. And just the guts that this team showed in Game 5 when we all know they were overmatched. They were out of their league against this Denver team. And just the guts that they showed. And they were in the lead most of the game. Now, I understand that could make it harder to swallow because you feel like the game was there for the taking. And it was, but we didn't play well. It's not like you look back, we played a great game, that's why we almost had a chance. We did not play well. The Heat played well defensively, but Denver also, Denver killed themselves throughout this game. Denver really kept the door open for Miami. The entire game. They really did. And the Heat almost jumped right through that door. They almost did. But Denver's just better. This team, though, and, you know, I'm going to give our thoughts here about how I feel. I'm going to continue with that. We'll go over the game. We'll talk a little bit about the aftermath. I'll tell you what I'm not doing today. I'm not doing all-season stuff today. Adding a superstar, Damian Lillard, who do you keep? Duncan Robinson. I'm not doing any of that today. I'm sorry. We have so much time for that. Now, the cool part about getting to the finals is the off-season stuff is really close. The draft's in a couple weeks. Free agency's in 3 weeks. Like, all of this is really close. So that's cool. I'm not doing any of that today. I'm sorry. I'm focused on last night. I'm focused on the series. I'm focused on what the Heat accomplished or didn't accomplish throughout the year. I am not doing off-season stuff. I'm sorry. Not today. We'll start doing that tomorrow for sure. There's a lot of juicy, interesting stuff there. Not doing it today. Not even close. So, just this team, surprisingly, gave us great memories, gave us all-time sports fan memories. And for me, like, that's what it's really about. That's what's... Maybe I'm at a different place in my life now where, because I'm a little bit older, I've realized, or at least for me, that's what it's about with sports. That's what the experience is about. Ultimately, you want to win a championship, but it's about the moments. It's about being a part of these moments. That's why, remember, I talked about a couple weeks ago, chasing that sports moment. And that's why I was urging people, when it was Game 6 against Boston at home, right? Go to Game 6. You're saving your money for the finals. That's wonderful. But tonight could be a moment. Go to Game 6 of the finals. Be there. Now, it ended up being, a soul-crushing loss. But I've been telling you, at least at this point in my life, we're chasing those sports moments. And we're chasing those sports moments with our kids. And so maybe as I've gotten older, my goal with sports has changed, and I've evolved where it's about chasing that sports moment. And while ultimately the Heat fall short by 3 games of the ultimate goal, we had several all-time great sports moments that we got to be a part of. Hell, if you were there for Game 4 against Milwaukee, 56 points, Jimmy Butler, that's an all-time great moment you've ever been at. And to me, like, that's what it's about. You want to win 3 more games and win the championship. But when your team is giving you those all-time joyous, those all-time great moments, at this point in my life, that's what it's about. And this team gave us a bunch of those this postseason. So I don't think any of us should lose sight of that. And I really feel bad for you because I saw plenty of this on Twitter. Like, I tweeted out last night after the game, I'm so super proud of this team, the way that they fought, the guts that they showed. I'm also super sad for sure. And then, I wrote, Denver, super deserving champion, which is true. Nikola Jokic, super deserving champion, which is true. Boy, did he come off likable last night. A little bit dull, when the microphone's in front of him, but he came off very likable. How about Nikola Jokic? You noticed this, right? How about Nikola Jokic right after the game, before celebrating anything with his teammates? What did he do? He went and found every single player on the Miami Heat. He went and found all of those players and made sure that he shook their hands. Yeah. And you saw the one like Haywood Highsmith, even Haywood Highsmith. Now, there's nothing wrong with Haywood Highsmith, but Highsmith is walking away, and Jokic made sure to grab him. And Highsmith turns around, oh yeah, hey, they shake hands. He went and congratulated for a great series every guy on the Heat before he went and celebrated with his teammates and with his family. It's pretty admirable. He came off very, very well. He is, obviously, but he is the big winner in the NBA right now. You want to talk about, and I remember talking about this with Mark Hestisher last week, who had the call all series long on ESPN Radio. Has there ever been a more unlikely best player in the league? And now it's a more unlikely Finals MVP, NBA champion than Nikola Jokic, the lowest drafted player, 41st overall, to win Finals MVP. Before it, I think maybe it was Tony Parker. Tony Parker won Finals MVP in 03, right? I believe. 05, 03, 05. I believe Tony Parker won Finals MVP. And he was drafted like in the 30s. I think he was a second round pick. Maybe it was late first. But Nikola Jokic came off so well last night. Very, very classy from him. But anyway, I saw some of this. I saw a lot of this, actually, on Twitter. I saw a lot of this tweeted at me in reaction to what I tweeted there. Like, I'm proud of this team. I'm not angry at all. Like, I hope you could tell in my voice, not angry at all. Definitely sad. I really feel bad for you if your experience right now is putting blame, is pointing fingers, and being angry. And I saw a lot of that. I just feel like you're experiencing sports wrong if that's what you're doing today. We may never see this kind of run again. One that gave us so much joy along the way. One that gave us all-time great moments and memories. Shit, I told you, I almost cried after Game 4 against Milwaukee. In the first round, Jimmy's performance, the unlikelihood of all of it, the crowd was phenomenal. I almost cried after Game 4's win against Milwaukee. And if you're lashing out now and pointing fingers, I think you're experiencing sports wrong. I do. And I don't want to sound condescending. I don't want to come off preachy. It is whatever it is. I don't agree with any of that. And maybe some of that has changed at this point in my life. But if you're angry today and you're pointing fingers, I think you're experiencing sports wrong. I do. I'm super grateful for it. It's all about the moments that we're able to share with each other, family, friends, other fans. Ultimately, we want to win the championship. But they gave us so much joy these last couple of months. Such an incredible postseason like no other. And we're going to remember this one forever. That's what it's about, man. And ultimately, hey, the Heat turned into a pumpkin. You know, the final few minutes against Chicago in the play-in game, all the way up to the finals. And then we played this Denver team, who was far and away the best team we played. And we couldn't score anymore. Just like we couldn't score all throughout the regular season. We turned into a pumpkin. And by the way, I tweeted it out from Tom Haber's show earlier today. The Heat defended Denver not only far and away the best that any team defended Denver this postseason, but they defended Denver as if Denver's offense was league average throughout the season. The Heat defense was there, man, but we turned into a pumpkin. And what was a terrible offense in the regular season was just on fire in the postseason, and then resorted back to what it was for most of the year in the finals. Just couldn't score in the finals. But I'm not angry at all. I'm sad. I'm really sad. Like I said, unless we lost on like a terrible call, we lost at the last second at the buzzer in Game 7, I was never going to be angry with whatever the result was once we make it to the finals. Once you make it to the finals, for me, we're there. Let the better team win. We made it. We're going to be playing in the last game. There's no more games now. The Heat made it to the last game. Not angry. And I'm sad because, yeah, I really thought we were going to win this series. Like, not going into last night, but at the beginning of the series. Certainly after Game 2. I really thought we were going to win this series. But they were better, period. And you got to be realistic. It's not like last night wasn't Game 7. They beat us 4-1. It's so hard to get to this point. That's what makes it tough to swallow. We were right there. We were 3 games away. It's so hard to get to this point. And it's so hard to win that, obviously, and yeah, we did it 3 years later. Like, we got back. But that certainly does, like, I certainly don't feel like right now, all right, we're going to be back next year, or back in 2 years, or back in 3 years. I don't feel that way at all, because I know how hard it is. And what also makes it really tough to swallow, we've now lost 3 straight finals. 2014, 2020, 2023. That's hard. That's hard to accept, man. It's so hard to get to this place. And now we've been there, and the last 3 times we've lost each of them. Lost 3 straight finals. And obviously we haven't won a home game in any of those. Now 2020 we couldn't. But lost both at home in 14, lost both at home in 23. It's tough. That's hard, man. I love Jimmy Butler so much, by the way. I'm so grateful that he's on the team. I really think all you guys, and Mark Jackson was talking about this throughout the game. Jimmy, come on, Jimmy. We need more from Jimmy. It's like when Mark Jackson was telling LeBron in Game 1 in 2014, nah, you got to say to your body, not now, body. Like, Mark, there's clearly something wrong with Jimmy Butler. You could say it all you want. You could say it all game long. Need more from Jimmy Butler. Need more from Jimmy Butler. There's clearly something wrong with him. There's something wrong. Now, is he hurt? He's never going to tell you the ankle's bothering him. He told you after the game the ankle's not bothering him. That it's not an excuse. It also appears, and I'm not going to get into it, but it also appears he's got something very serious personally going on. There's something not right. And Mark Jackson throughout the game, Jimmy Butler, you need more from Jimmy Butler. Shut up already. There's something wrong with him. Like, how do you not see that? I'm so grateful for Jimmy Butler, man. And I feel bad that this is the way that he's going out. Because everyone's going to remember he had 8 points, 2 for 12 going into the fourth quarter. And the turnover late in the game. He had such an amazing year and such an incredible playoff. And this is likely going to be a really tough offseason for him. Although he seems to have a really good perspective on life and what's important and what's not important. And he also says after the game last night, we'll be back. I do believe we're going to win a championship. He does have a really good perspective on life. So maybe it won't be so hard for him to get through this offseason. Maybe it won't. But I feel bad that this is the way his season ended. Hey, I want to take a moment here and tell you guys, if you're out there looking for homeowners insurance, see, I don't have to worry about that kind of stuff because I get my homeowners insurance through Brunt Insurance. That's right, bruntinsurance.com, 954-589-2204, from Pensacola to the Keys and beyond. Brunt Insurance is delivering you comprehensive insurance coverage tailored exactly to your needs. You get them on the phone at 954-589-2204, and doesn't matter where you're calling from here in Florida, fully licensed staff knows exactly whatever area you're calling from. They're going to know what kind of coverage you need. Not only does it depend on what kind of home you have, or if it's a condo, or if you're renting, single story, townhome, whatever. But the area you're calling from, you need certain types of coverage. And that's why you can't do this on your own. Bruntinsurance.com, 954-589-2204. I'm not recommending anyone that I don't use myself. I've been with Brunt Insurance for about 10 years now. And I know I'm getting the most affordable care out there and all the comprehensive coverage that I need. That's why I send you for big savings to Brunt Insurance. Bruntinsurance.com, 954-589-2204. That's 954-589-2204. I also want to tell you guys, hey, we'll get to the Panthers. By the way, so here's what we got coming up today. We're going to continue on, got a lot more on the Heat. But we're going to talk tonight. We got Panthers, man. And it's funny because I'm having a hard time right now. I'll be okay in a few hours. I'm having a hard time right now getting fired up about the Panthers tonight. Panthers have a great opportunity tonight. Tremendous opportunity to force Game 6 at home, which will be just an incredible atmosphere. Win one road game, and you got a chance. You got a shot at the Stanley Cup. Great opportunity tonight. Now, as I'm saying, I'm starting to get a little fired up, but I'm having a hard time getting fired up right now because of the sadness from last night, But we're going to talk to the voice of the NHL Finals NHL on TNT. Kenny Albert is on the show today. Come on. One of the best in the business. So Kenny Albert, he's out there in Vegas, obviously getting ready for tonight's game. We're going to get Kenny Albert on the show here in a little bit, and we'll talk about Game 5 tonight. We'll talk about the Stanley Cup Final with him. Stanley Cup's going to be in the building tonight. Hopefully it has to get shipped back to Sunrise for another game in a few nights. So we'll get Kenny Albert on the show in a few minutes. That'll be great. And of course, you know my man Colin, founder and CEO of Sheets and Giggles, huge Panther fan. You want to talk about catching those sports memories, those sports moments? My man Colin, courtesy of Sheets and Giggles, gave me and my son Jordan one of those all-time moments, took us to Game 4. Even though the Panthers lost, we had such an amazing time. Support the sponsors that support the show. That's how we keep this thing going round and round. But Sheets and Giggles, when you go to sheetsgiggles.com, you're going to permanently become one of over 100,000 Americans who are sleeping on Sheets and Giggles. I got the comforter. My son Jordan was ranting and raving to Colin about how amazing his comforter is. I got the eucalyptus pillow. I got the pillowcases, the sheets, the fitted sheet. Have you ever slept on a eucalyptus mattress? Sheetsgiggles.com. Use promo code ZASLOW. You'll get 20% off checkout your first order. We're talking environmentally friendly. Colin cares about the earth, but he also cares about us being healthy and getting the best sleep possible. Naturally softer, cooler, and more breathable. That's what we're talking about with Sheets and Giggles. Sheetsgiggles.com. All right, so let's continue on here. I want to give you what I was experiencing throughout the game. And my initial thought was, okay, we got out to the nice start. We're up 5-0, whatever. But we were up 5-2, and we're getting missed layups from Bam, missed layups from Jimmy. We're getting Jimmy missing 2 free throws. Gabe Vincent's throwing up nothing but bricks. 10 straight missed shots after the Heat were up 5-0. And it was like, this was the chance. And especially because Denver now started to get going. Dunk, fast break dunk, transition dunk. And it's like, holy shit, did they take the buzzsaw? Are they going to bring out the buzzsaw on us? And you got Lowry who comes in, immediately jacks up a 3. But then you had a super strong response from Bam. Lowry is helping set up the offense. 14-2 Heat run. Gutsy response after Denver had, it felt like mid-first quarter, has the Heat on their heels. Finally, in the second quarter, you get your first basket from Jimmy, and now he's attacking and he's getting to the free throw line. We still can't hit a 3. But Jokic now gets the fouls. By the time he returns, the Heat are up by 5. You'd like them to be up more, but all right, we were down 2, I think. He returns, we're up by 5. Robinson, again, you want to talk about the MVP of the series? Obviously, it was never for a whole game or anything, but Duncan Robinson had several moments where his minutes were super impactful. And again, it happened last night. Robinson gave you 5 straight points there in the second quarter, 3-pointer drive to the basket. All of a sudden, we're up double digits, which at the time I felt was enormous because now the Heat know they're in this game. No matter what. They're not going to be up double figures for long, but now the Heat know they're in this game. And Denver was allowing us. Terrible from 3. What were they, 1 of 17? Free throws, can't hit a free throw, turnovers. Denver was terrible. And so we're ahead by 7 going into the third. And then it's like, for me, Jimmy looked cooked. Just, the jumpers are line drives off the front of the rim. He doesn't necessarily look like he wants to shoot. I don't think he pump faked once last night. It's almost like the Boston series and Robert Williams spooked him with the pump fakes. And to me, he looked cooked. The legs, maybe the ankle. He looked tired. And so we go to the fourth, so today, and these are obviously where all the big moments came. So we got a ZASLOW Show 2.0 poll today. Go at ZASLOW Show. You can vote on today's poll question. And here's what we got right now. ZASLOW Show 2.0 poll. Which will haunt you most? about last night. We had 4 choices. Start of the fourth quarter, Cody Zeller. Zeller checks in. We're up by 1. After like 2 minutes, we're down by 4. It's like Spo tried to steal an extra minute there and give Bam some rest. We just had the timeout break. Like, you would think that'd be enough, but you would also think, how could it be such a disaster in just 1 minute with Cody Zeller in the game? And it wasn't just the points that he gave up. He had a point-blank tip that he couldn't get to go. ZASLOW Show 2.0 poll. Which will haunt you the most about last night? Cody Zeller at the start of the fourth quarter is one of those choices. Then you get Denver up 4. Murray hits the 3. They extend after a bunch of empty possessions now from Miami. Total wasted opportunity. Bam's missing shots in the paint. He only had 2 points in the second half after a phenomenal first half. Which, by the way, the whole, Bam gave him nothing. Get the hell out of here. Bam's defense on Jokic last night, again, enormous. You lose sight of this sometimes. I lost sight of this last round in Game 7 against Boston. Even when Bam isn't giving you what he needs to give you offensively, he's still giving you so much on the defensive end, and that matters. It matters. But Bam's missing in the paint when you got to play perfect down the stretch here in the finals. And Bam can't miss those shots. And Jimmy's missing jumpers. And you got to play perfect down the stretch here. And you can't miss those shots. And so now the Heat find themselves down by 7, right? And now you get Jimmy scoring 13 straight points. Finally, he has come alive. You get the back-to-back threes from Jimmy. You get the 3-point foul, which was super controversial. I thought it was a foul. Obviously, I'm biased. Jimmy did not kick out his leg. That's totally within his range of motion. It's within the area that he's jumping, and Aaron Gordon was completely in his landing space. I have no problem with that call, and I felt that it was going to be upheld during the replay. Which, takes 10 minutes. What the hell are you looking at for 10 minutes? Anyway, he gets those 3 free throws. He had another jumper. He had 2 more free throws. 13 straight points, and the Heat take an 89-88 lead. And so then you get another option on today's ZASLOW Show 2.0 poll question. Which will haunt you the most about last night? We already have Zeller at the start of the fourth. The next one, as we're up 89-88, we seemingly get another stop. Bruce Brown, offensive rebound, putback. That's another option. So we have Zeller at the start of the fourth and Brown, offensive rebound, and putback. Our third option. Now there's just over a minute remaining. We're down 90-89. Jimmy drives, finds Max Strus wide open in the short corner for 3. Looks like it's online. No good. That's our third option for which haunts you the most about last night. Strus missing the corner 3. The Heat wind up fouling there. The Heat foul there. And so now it's 90-89. Denver goes to the free throw line. They make them both. 92-89 now. And then you get the Jimmy late turnover. Actually, I'm sorry. The Heat must have, you know what? Let me look it up just so I know that we're clear here. I want to make sure that we're getting it right for accuracy purposes here. Strus misses the 3, 90-89. All right, hang with me here. Yeah, there we go. All right. So then you get another stop with 45 seconds left. And then you get the fourth and final option, which was with 27 seconds remaining. Jimmy gets caught up in the paint. He's off balance, throws it away. Caldwell Pope, easy steal. The Heat foul there. Now, you may be saying, should the Heat have fouled? Because They could have played it out. There would have been about 3 seconds remaining if they get a stop. And then they go for 2 and for the win. I have no problem fouling there. Denver was awful from the free throw line all night. Why not try and take advantage of that there? It didn't work. I have no problem with that. So they make both free throws there. Caldwell Pope. It's 92-89. Then you get Jimmy with the missed 3. Not a good shot. I really don't have a problem with him taking that shot. You could have went for 2, but Jimmy was feeling good. He had 13 straight Miami points there in the fourth quarter. I don't have an issue with it, but those are our 4 ops. And then, of course, they foul. Bruce Brown makes them both. We're done, 94-89. There you have it. Those are our 4 options. ZASLOW Show 2.0 poll. Which will haunt you most about last night? Zeller at the start of the fourth. Bruce Brown, offensive rebound and putback. Strus missed corner 3. Jimmy late turnover. It's tough. It's easy to say Zeller at the start of the fourth. That's not it for me. I really think the Bruce Brown offensive rebound and putback. I think that's the one for me. The Heat were up 89-88. And they got another stop. And they got a stop after that too when Jokic missed. Then the final 4 points were all from the free throw line, were us intentionally fouling them. Like, the Heat weren't giving up any baskets the last several minutes of the game. So, for me, I vote Bruce Brown's offensive rebound and putback. That's the one that haunts me the most. Now, the leader right now at 49% is Jimmy with the late turnover. Then it's Zeller at the start of the fourth. Then Strus missed 3. And fourth right now is Brown's offensive rebound and putback at just 7%. For me, that's what I vote for. Because the Heat were getting all the stops, and they were ahead. And that basket was the go-ahead basket, and they kept the lead. The Heat didn't score again. That's the one to me. But it seems that I'm kind of on an island on my own on that one. Anyway, Nikola Jokic. Just impossible. Unbelievable. Such a deserving champion. He is the best player in the league. And the Embiid stuff, I mean, Joel Embiid should be embarrassed. He really should. When he looks over at that MVP award, he should be embarrassed. He does not deserve it. Nope. I'm sorry. He does not deserve it. Does not deserve it. And the Heat did not play well last night. The Nuggets were just so bad from 3. They were so bad from the free throw line. The Heat showed so much guts. But they're just not as good as Denver. And I loved that game last night. That game is my drugs. Close, defensive game, nasty, in the mud. I love that game. That game is my drugs. That's my style. I'm fine with the Heat going out like that. They went out like dogs. That's how you go out to the very end, playing that game in the mud. But there's several guys are going to have nightmares for days. Max Strus is going to have nightmares about that miss in the corner. Jimmy was clearly not right. He's going to have nightmares about that turnover late. Spoelstra is going to have nightmares. He's going to second guess about playing Zeller at the start of the fourth, up 1 to down 4. I don't know if he's going to have nightmares about not playing Tyler Hero. Tyler hasn't played in 2 months. He hasn't played in 2 months. And you're going to put him in the most high pressure of situations in the finals against that team with this kind of physicality. I have no problem Tyler Hero not playing last night. None. But Spo may be second-guessing himself on that. So there's a few things that are going to haunt you if you're a player, if you're the coach, and certainly if you're a Heat fan. Now, one thing that shouldn't ever haunt you is when you're thinking about getting a new car. When you're thinking about getting a new car, that could be stressful. It can give you anxiety. I'm going to take all that out of the equation. If you're in the market for a new ride, you can't decide where to go, I'm sending you to the only car dealership I personally endorse. You know we're talking about North Fort Lauderdale Subaru. You walk in the showroom doors, you're greeted by a member of their sales staff who's going to help you navigate exactly what you're looking for. Take a look at one of the newest Subarus. They got all the new models on the market, the widest inventory, including the Outback, the Subaru Crosstrek, the Forester, the Ascent. Whether you're looking for a spacious Subaru SUV for the entire family, or just a reliable Subaru sedan for your daily commute, maybe just something for fun, North Fort Lauderdale Subaru has the perfect model for you. And look, take the summer off with North Fort Lauderdale Subaru. No payments for 90 days when you purchase any North Fort Lauderdale vehicle, any North Fort Lauderdale Subaru vehicle in stock. Just search, you can shop online, nflsubaru.com. North Fort Lauderdale Subaru, conveniently located on North Andrews Avenue, just north of Cypress Creek Road, the building you know and the place to go. nflsubaru.com, North Fort Lauderdale Subaru. So, like I said, I'm not doing the off-season stuff today. I know we're all excited to think about that. That's not what today's about. We'll get to that stuff tomorrow. I do want to add a couple of things here. For one, I'll say it again. That ESPN studio crew for NBA Countdown sucks. There's no other way to say it. Sucks. Literally, like, you turn it on at halftime. First of all, their halftime show is 2.5 minutes. The rest is commercials. Sucks. 2.5 minutes. That's what it is. But when you are getting the analysis in those 2.5 minutes, here, like, this is literally what you get from them. And especially Stephen A. Smith, who stinks in this role. But I get it. He's Stephen A. Smith. He's the best out there. He's the face of ESPN. So put him on the coverage. He draws eyeballs. I get it. But he stinks at this role. He's great with opinions. Analysis is what you're looking for if you're an NBA fan in this spot, and he sucks at that. Because literally what you get is the team that's winning is playing good. The team that's losing, they're playing bad. They need to play better. That's literally what you get. Or you look at the guys who haven't scored, like, he needs to score more. He needs to score more. It's such bad analysis. The team that's winning at halftime, they need to keep doing good. The team that's losing at halftime, they need to play better. That's what you get from that studio show. I would rather the TNT studio show, and I'm not talking about the NBA on TNT. I'm talking about, I'd rather the NHL on TNT studio show at halftime of the NBA Finals. I'd rather Liam McHugh and Paul Bissonnette and Wayne Gretzky and Anson Carter and Henrik Lundqvist. I'd rather hear from those guys at halftime of the NBA Finals than the NBA Countdown studio crew. Boy, they suck. That's a lousy, lousy show. And I also want to add one other, like, weird thing about last night. And it's not just about last night. This is all of our North American sports, except for hockey, by the way. The Nuggets win last night. They're all up on the podium. Adam Silver gives a quick little speech. Excellent job by the crowd throwing out the boo birds there. Salt is commissioner in sports. Lisa Salters, Adam Silver, they announced the Denver Nuggets as the world champions. And what do? They pass the trophy to Stan Kroenke, the owner of the Denver Nuggets. It's so weird. Why does the owner, ahead of the coach, ahead of the players, why does the owner hold the trophy first and then talk first? No one, not even Nuggets fans, like, when the Heat win the NBA championship, am I saying, oh, hurry up, I can't wait to hear from Mickey Arison first? And I love Mickey Arison. I can't wait to hear from him first. No one wants to hear the billionaire owner talk first. Why does he get to hold the trophy first? And that's how it is in Major League Baseball, and that's how it is in the NFL too. Hockey, nope. Not like that at all. Nope. In hockey, the captain gets it, and all the players get it. The owner is nowhere to be found. which is exactly how it should be. There's not a single person that can't wait to hear from the billionaire owner, and he's got to hold the trophy first and speak first. Why do we do that? It's so stupid. It really is lame. And then Stan Kroenke, he's talking in Lisa Salter's ear. Stan, you do realize it's not a private conversation between you and Lisa Salters. There are cameras, there are fans, there are microphones. It's not just the two of you. Why are you talking in her ear? The microphone is not in her ear. She's actually holding it. It was really weird, that whole scene. Completely ridiculous. All right, I want to get to Kenny Albert. We got to get to the Panthers here. We're going to do Heat all week. I think I really summed up last night nicely. I'm so grateful for what this team has given us this year. It's my general thought today. I'm sad. But overall, I'm going to remember this postseason. Not the regular season. Regular season was a struggle. But this postseason, I'm going to have super fond memories of. Oh my God. It will be brutal. It will be brutal if the Panthers lose tonight, where we get back-to-back nights of our championship series ending. That'll be tough. Come on, Panthers. Hey, let me tell you guys about water cleanup of Florida. You want something that'll make you sad. If you got a water leak in your home and you don't do anything about it, you're going to have a major problem. That's why I send you to personal friends of mine, family friends, the Greensteins, Water Cleanup of Florida, immediate assistance when you call or text 954-900-8635. That's right. Water Cleanup of Florida, over 60 years of combined experience. Their team is prepared to handle all types of leak detection issues. After the leak has been located and repaired, Water Cleanup of Florida, they're then going to clean, dry, and fully restore any of the damaged areas. Fully licensed, insured, Water Cleanup of Florida, certified to provide the one-stop shopping that all of us are looking for. No need to bring in other contractors. Water Cleanup of Florida is handling the entire project from start to finish. Wherever you're listening right now, serving the entire Tri-County area, Miami-Dade, Broward, Palm Beach counties. You can follow them on social, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Hey, check out more than 80 5-star reviews on Google. Water Cleanup of Florida, 954-900-8635. Water Cleanup of Florida, we clean up your schmutz.